deck.
I like the red deck so far.
It's another deck I'm excited about.
Everybody is excited about this deck.
Black and red are
for,
mine too.
for good reason.
Yeah, so red in the past in EDH has been kind of one of the hardest decks to just build, in the fact that red doesn't draw cards very well. Red doesn't tutor for things really well. It doesn't mana ramp very well. And these three things are kind of like the main things that people like to do in EDH. And so red's just kind of been like, you know, literally the redheaded stepchild a little bit, and kind of hasn't gotten a lot of love. But with this new deck,
red has been the redheaded stepchild.
Yes.
The red herring, as it were.
Yeah. And with this deck, they've actually kind of given a little bit more, I guess, power, and shown us a little bit of a light of a way that you can build red and make it effective. And it's actually really artifact themed. The guy who won it was Ethan Flesher, which was another guy that won the Great Designer Search. He helped a lot with the Born of the Gods and worked for the R&D team during Journey to Nyx. He got red because nobody wanted it. Red's been, you know, like we just said, you know, kind of one of the terrible decks to play with. But with what he's done with this deck, it seems like it's really cool, and I'm excited to see it in action. So does anyone want to talk about the Planeswalker, the Goblin Planeswalker, first Goblin Planeswalker,
here?
I believe, that we've had
Duretti
so far.
Scrap Servant?
Yeah,
a lot of...
Savant.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, Spawn.
There it is.
Hey, at least you mispronounced Spawn.
Duretti Scrap Savant, I guess.
A lot of people were upset that it wasn't, Slowbad?
Yeah.
But Slowbad's dead. Mero said Slowbad's dead. They wanted to do someone that they could have a little bit more storyline with, which is why we have Duretti.
Right. And he's from Mirrodin, right? I don't
I'd
remember.
assume.
I'm guessing. Especially he might be Slowbad's like assistant or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Slowbad? Is this Slowbad was a goblin from Mirrodin?
Yep.
Slowbad faked his death.
Sounds
Now
like
it's Duretti.
Strongbad's other brother.
Because wasn't Slowbad getting like tracked down by not the Frictions? Who was it? He betrayed somebody, and they were trying to chase after him. It was his own Warren, his own Goblin Warrens, because he was like one of the most intelligent goblins on Mirrodin, and everybody hated him for it. And so he like worked with the Mirrans or something. I don't remember. Anyway,
Regardless,
what does he do?
I'll go ahead and read it.
Okay.
3 colorless and a red for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Duretti. +2 ability, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. -2, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And ultimate, -10, you get an emblem with, whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step.
Also, they just said Duretti was Muzio's mentor on Kiora, so not Mirrodin. So, and I guess Slowbad was Bosch's mechanic. So, anyway, fun flavor.
Checking the email.
So this is kind of like a I got spaced out. So this deck's very artifact centric and themed. Everybody's pretty excited for this guy, but the other guy that they're really excited about is actually Felden of the Third Path. This is the guy everybody's hyped about. Yeah. Do you want to read him off, James?
Let me see if I can find him.
You just passed him.
Did I pass him?
Nope, never mind. You didn't.
No, I don't see him. Oh, there he is. I see him. Let me see if I can make this
Scroll
go over there, because this is really crazy the way this is working. I swear, one of these days I'm going to get the picture showing thing working just the way I want to. Felden of the Third Path, 1 colorless, 2 red for a 2/3 legendary creature, human artificer. Pay 2 and a red, tap. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step.
Very strong ability, I think.
Right, like being able to reanimate stuff in red never happens. I mean, like artifacts kind of, but this gives us more to do with stuff, right, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And
Flavor-wise, that's an awesome card, too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just amazing.
So do you guys want
to
do the story? Or do you want me to kind of go over it? I'm gonna botch it. I'm gonna get yelled at in chat, but if I say it, but
you're used to it though.
That's why chat's there.
Right. So it'd be like, Rich, stop, you're bad. Somebody just posted.
I had to ask too.
Yeah. So there's articles online where you can read this and actually find out exactly all of the flavor of all of these characters. But to give you a quick summation, during the Brothers' War, when Urza and Mishra were fighting, they went to a plane. What plane was it? Argoth, right? Looking real quick. So, what happened was Felden's wife, Lauren, was being tortured by Mishra and stuff like that during the war. And she eventually just died in the war, basically. And so since she died, Felden has been trying to kind of reanimate her, but in a different way. She's been trying to make an artifact or a construct of her with her consciousness. And
like an automaton.
Like an automaton, yeah. And he basically did, but it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't her. And so he's been trying ever since that day to basically kind of create his dead wife kind of thing. You know what I mean? Which is the flavor text. I mean, if you read it, it's, she will come back to me, and it just shows him holding like an automaton's face. And it's just so sad and depressing. And, there's a lot of depressing things in Magic the Gathering that, we kind of overlook or overthink in the storyline. And it's just one of those sad stories. It's just, kind of wrenches at you a little bit sometimes,
Yeah, like Goblin Diplomat. That makes me so sad when I see that one.
It's too close to home?
The which one?
I said Goblin Diplomat.
Goblin Diplomat.
Or Diplomats. That's the one where they're going, bleh.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Monty Python, actually. Okay.
It does. They should have an altar of it. But that's kind of like a quick summation of the story. I mean, that's what you guys have heard, right? Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did a better job telling it than I would have.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear these stories, there's tons of articles on the Mothership. Just go check them out. I highly, highly suggest it. And you can be cool with your friends and show off your Magic knowledge, and then they can call you a nerd. I'm just kidding.
That happens a lot.
It'll happen anyway, so who cares?
But what cards would you guys want to add to this deck?
Oh, the red deck. I'm a big fan of artifact decks. I had this great Progenitus deck that was all artifacts, but the one card that I need in this deck is Karar Clan Ironworks. You need that Karar Clan Ironworks. The ability to just sacrifice an artifact off it at any time and get 2 mana, it's going to benefit this deck.
And if you had a red, you can just pay it back in, and reanimate it again, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the thing with this Felden is, the Solemn Simulacrum, I'm going to reanimate that thing all day. Like, fetching lands in red with an artifact creature that comes into the field and then, draws me a card, that's amazing. There's just so many cards that this guy is just waiting to abuse.
Yeah.
Oh. And one of the things that I like to do with my artifact decks is, Mycosynth Lattice, throw that in there, turn him into an artifact, then I got my Clock of Omens, untap him, and just that's what I do with artifacts. So
yeah.
That's why I'm excited about this deck.
And they actually have some really cool reanimating targets in this deck because they're printing, like you said, Solemn Simulacrum and Wormquill Engine is actually getting a reprint too.
Spine of Ish Saw is getting a reprint, which is a great thing to keep returning.
Yeah, because even if it gets in your graveyard somehow, you can reanimate it and it comes back to your hand. Well, no, because it's a token, huh?
Yeah.
But if you reanimate with one of the other reanimating artifact spells that they have in here, it's really good. But you have down here, you're going to put in, what was it, Slowbad?
Yeah, the Slowbad Goblin Tinkerer. It's a shame that he wasn't in here already, but we did get a reprint of Goblin Welder, which I'm happy about.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Slowbad should go in this deck. He becomes very useful in there.
Yeah, and they did add Goblin Welder at least.
Yeah, I'm happy with that reprint.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited that Junk Diver, and I think it has a Mirror Retriever in here, does it not? So Mirror Retriever and Junk Diver.
I like the Junk Diver. I've got one sitting around in my box.
Oh, they're great.
There's the skeleton guy that you can pay one colorless. He's not a skeleton, he's a scarecrow, and you can sacrifice an artifact, something like that, or sacrifice a scarecrow maybe, and you draw a card. But you pay 3 mana and you reanimate a artifact creature. I can't remember the name of the guy right now, but he's really, really good. He's a scarecrow from the Lorwyn block, somebody just finished up the third way. The reason why it's called Felden of the Third Path is because they didn't join with either Mishra or Urza during the Brothers' War. They were on their own. They were neutral, and so the fact that this even happened to them, it shouldn't have happened, kind of thing. So They just finished that up for me. But chat keeps saying Kirkish over and over.
Oh,
Scarecrow.
absolutely.
Scarecrow's the name of that guy that I was thinking of. Scarecrow.
Yeah.
But Kirkish seems really good too with all of the different activated abilities in this deck, right?
Yep.
So
He's pretty awesome.
I really like the printing of Scrap Mastery, like someone else said, the living death of artifacts.
definitely, it's really, really, really good.
And one thing that sets this deck apart from the other ones is it actually has 2 old commanders that you can use in it. It's got Bosch and Tuk Tuk. I mean, you probably don't want to use Tuk Tuk, but he's there.
Right. He's cute and really
He's very
bad. But you could play him if you want, if you like, goblins and stuff. The other thing, I really do like the fact they did Bosch though, because it's showing like the whole colorless aspect, even though it's red, and like how the activated ability is red, so you could play him and just sacrifice artifacts all day and shoot people with them. So
Yeah.
seems like this deck wants more mana rocks. And Mer Matrix is actually really, really good with this because you can just exile all of your stuff, and if you have a Perforos, you just win.
Yes.
So, anything else, you guys?
We should mention Dual Caster Mages in this deck.
Oh, yes.
Which
Yes, we
is
should.
the second card that'll probably be a breakout in Legacy, and it can get broken. If I write some replication, well, I have infinite Dual Caster Mages, right?
Right. Yeah, so Dualcaster Mage, 1 colorless, 2 red for a 2/2 wizard,
Wow.
human wizard that has flash, and when he enters the battlefield, you may copy. He's basically a reverberate. You may copy target instant sorcery, right? So he's like Flash Master Chan's twin, Snapcaster Mage's twin, basically, which is really cool.
So does he copy one of your own spells or any spell?
Enters battlefield,
Any
copy
spell.
target instant
Any.
sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for this copy in any. So.
All right, that's hugely relevant.
Yeah, I mean, there's talk, I guess, Legacy, but I mean, either way, like, Red doesn't have a whole lot of like creatures that do cool effects like that on occasion, so this is really cool to see. I think that this busts Rug wide open even more to be more degenerate because they do a lot with creatures, and now they got one that does stuff with their spells too. So.
Yeah, especially with like Riku of the 2 Reflections. You cast this guy, copy a spell, copy him with Riku, copy the spell with Riku. It's gonna get crazy.
It's going to get busted.
Yeah. Plus, you clone him because it's as he enters the battlefield, right?
Right. And you could Klutz
So-
and Curio and bounce it back to hand.
Exactly.
It's broken, yep. And he comes back with, Rebel Arc, which isn't relevant, but fun still. Green deck, or is there any more about Red that we want to talk about? Just lots of artifact-themed stuff. Really
Yeah,
good.
well, I feel like Red EDH is getting a new archetype in having better access to artifacts. Because, like you said, Red was really lacking in the mono colors.
Yep. It needed a lot of help. Like a lot of people did Ashling the Pilgrim decks.
Yeah, we either make an Ashling or Norin the Wary. What other Red EDH decks have you seen?
There's been a few Kiki
Dodo.
Jiki, but I mean he's not even
I don't
that great
even
of a
see Kiki anymore.
he's not that great of a commander.
Right.
I've seen some guys build actually the Bosch deck, but it was kind of cutesy fun. But
Oh, and Kokresh, he's actually
Yeah, Kirkrush is getting
Kirkrush.
some love.
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
But again, that's artifacts. So.
Right. It's great format, and also gamble. Like if you're playing mono red and you haven't bought a gamble yet, go do that.
You need that gamble.
One red,
Yeah.
go tutor up something, and then discard something at random. It's like your only tutoring effect, really. So
Which seems pretty good in this list, where
Yeah.
you get a copy it and bring it back.
worst case, if you discard it, then you can just reanimate it.
Exactly.
So
And of course, the Red deck is going to be the only deck where I keep Commander's Sphere in.
Yeah, the Commander Sphere is not too impressive. Like, there's a lot of things in this that they're just not that impressive across the entire board.
Commander Sphere makes me want to play eggs and Commander really bad, even though it's terrible.
It doesn't work. One really cool thing about the red deck, like there's a lot of really cool things about the red deck, but Chaos Warp's back. That's pretty cool.
Yes, they did do a reprint of Chaos Warp, which we needed
And
really bad.
Cage Sun.
Yeah, and there's
got a
also
Cage
Cage
Sun.
Sun in the green one, I think, too,
Yeah.
isn't there? So,
Yeah.
which we're about to get to. Anything
Yeah,
else on
maybe we
red?
should just get over to it. Anyone else?
Yeah, we could talk about this red deck all day.
Yeah.
We could just move on over to the green
It's
one.
good if you thought about playing red, just get this deck. It's perfect. Go fight win.
It is definitely the best.
And you get a
red
Worm
option.
Cool
That's-
engine for goodness
and-
sakes.
and-
I mean, that's like $30.
Financially, it's probably one of the safest bets.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
definitely. And it's Solemn. I mean, there's 2 busted cards right there already. All right, so
Green deck.
green deck. This was actually designed by the man himself, Aaron Forsyth, which is the senior director of R&D at WotC at Wizards of the Coast. He doesn't get a lot of time on his hands to design stuff as much as he probably would like to, but he actually got a chance to jump in and build this deck and help. And it really is probably, I would dare say, the most synergistic out of the 5 decks, in the fact that it's mostly just tribal elves with some cool other stuff. There's a card that, like, I guess got Maro kind of all ruffled up. There's a card that costs 1 green and 2 colorless. It's like Dryad's Favor or something like that. It makes it permanent into a just basic forest, which I think is great. But I mean, removal in green is kind of not very popular, but I'm excited for that card. But we can talk about it here in a minute.
I like
back
Song
to
of the Dryads. It's good.
Yes. Yeah, Song of the Dryads. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, Song of the Dryads. But the Planeswalker, James, if you want to hit it.
Well, I was going to go to Song of the Dryads if you're going to.
Oh, Song of the Dryads. Sorry, I skipped ahead. It's an enchantment aura that costs 2 colorless and a green. Enchanted permanent is a colorless forest land. I mean, green does not get a whole lot of removal, and I think this is a really, me personally as a player, I like this because it's a way of giving green removal without it actually being removal, if that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like an Oblivion Ring, but I mean, like, instead of them getting an exiled permanent, now they're getting a land.
I think it's a little bit more reminiscent of Path to Exile.
Kind of, but they can get rid of this, whereas Path to Exile just says it's gone forever.
Yeah,
right?
that's fully accurate.
But so I am excited. Maro wasn't very excited, but I think this is cool. So
Wonder why he wasn't.
Yeah.
because it's branching from what he said. It was branching out of
Branching,
greens.
get it?
Yeah, it was getting out of green's color pie, and because green's not supposed to remove anything other than like fighting it.
But this is a way of getting out of that with sticking to it. And he likes that
That's
stuff.
the point. But he didn't like this card
That
because
is
it's
also ramping your opponent.
pseudo-removal.
That's something that green does.
Yeah, I think it's totally in it.
I agree.
I'm
yeah.
telling you, you don't know. He doesn't know what he's talking. Just kidding.
Well, the ability itself might be out of green's.
And it doesn't make it
out of its
basic.
wheelhouse, we'll say, but. The way he did it was really spot on. Like Song of the Dryads, you're turning your enemy into a tree.
Right.
It's very Dryad flavored. I mean,
I think it's awesome.
like you want to encroach on nature, then now you're nature kind of.
Yeah, if you're gonna do spot removal in green, that's exactly how you do it.
Right.
I agree. The 3 mana price tag on this seems a little bit low for
It does.
something
it
like
seems
that.
like it's really
yeah.
good.
like an Oblivion Ring, right?
Yeah, like
I mean,
30
Beast
or
Within is also 3
But
mana.
it gives them
Right.
a land too.
Right.
So I mean, you have to be careful. You know, like hey, you know, you've just ramped them. So
Although this is actually probably maybe even possibly legacy playable in the Elves deck because they don't really splash a whole lot of other colors other than green, and so against like decks that are trying to bring in Emrakul's with their show and tells, you can bring an enchantment in, and this can get rid of.
You can't target it with.
But you're not
Emrakul.
casting it, so you can do it with Oblivion Ring though, right? Enchant permanent. No, yeah, because it immediately just targets it, huh? Never mind, I'm wrong. But I mean, you could do it to a Karakas or whatever and shut down something. Like I could see it being
This-
played in Legacy a little bit.
Not in the Elves build. The Elves build doesn't really care.
They care about some stuff. I mean, some of the things they
Like
get,
they bring in
like
Thoughtseize
Wastelands
and
and
stuff, but as soon
stuff?
as it hits the battlefield, they don't.
but like
normally
like
care too
Wastelands,
much?
they don't want to see Wastelands because Wastelands get rid of their
What
Gaia's
does
Cradle.
want to see Wastelands?
There's not many.
Death and Taxes
Yeah.
with 4 Karakas, I guess. But anyway, I digress. But Free Elise, how you want to pronounce her?
Free Elise.
free lice. I don't know.
Fritos?
Freya.
Let's go.
Freya. I don't know, we'll just call her Freya.
Freya works.
Lanoir's Fury. She's got an eye patch. She's a pirate.
Arg.
So what does she do? Anybody?
3 colorless and 2 green for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. Fury Lease. Get it. +2, put a 1/1 green elf druid creature token on the battlefield with tap, add green to your mana pool. -2 ability, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and -6, draw a card for each green creature you control.
So I think she seems pretty fair and probably the most base planeswalker we're seeing in all of these. With her +2, just get a Llanowar Elves or an Elvish Mystic. That seems pretty fair and fairly common. -2, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Yeah, that's Naturalism is printed in just about every core set, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then draw a card for each.
Draw a
green
card. I mean,
creature.
that would be what you
Right.
control?
So green doesn't get a lot of drawing effects, and so this is kind of like a little bit like the the middle ability on Garruk Primal Hunter, which is drawing cards, and green doesn't get to do that a whole lot unless it's lots and lots of cards, which this guy does, which is pretty sweet. So, I mean, it's
Now,
Huh?
the reason that I think that this is kind of like it's a really fair commander is doubling season. Like, when I first heard that the commanders were going to be able to be planeswalkers in this core set, I'm like, okay, the green one better be kind of toned down a little bit, because doubling season's a thing in EDH. It's one of the best cards in green.
right.
And they had to be really careful with this green planeswalker, and I think they did a pretty good job of it.
And it fits a theme, right? Like making elves that just ramp you faster, right?
Yep.
And then its other abilities are toned down. I mean, it's -2 to naturalize, which is fair. I mean, it's just a one shot, kill that thing dead. And it's -6. I mean, you have to activate it 2 turns, and it's a pretty fair ability, I feel like, because they can always just respond by killing the biggest creature. So.
Yep.
Right. She also, you're gonna ultimate her, or you're gonna use her limit break or her ultimate fairly quickly, where all the others it's 3 turns ahead for a lot of them. This one is only like 2 turns of plussing her, and then you can lower her for a thing. It's less impactful, but due to the fact that you can use it more quickly is definitely extremely relevant. And like you were saying with the doubling season, she comes out with 6 counters with the doubling season. So you can just use her limit break the one time, and then she's gone.
Right. And actually, I think...
But if she's your commander, you can just play her again.
Right.
And I mean, green, you're going to have the mana to do that. So, like, you can just do it 4 times in a row in one turn.
In fact, even if you just +2 the 2 times to get, you know what I mean, the 2 Llanowar elves, and then she dies or you sack her or whatever, and then cast the doubling season, she comes back in ready to go because the Llanowar elves are able to cast for it.
She does seem fairly fair even with doubling season.
Yeah. Definitely. Agree.
Absolutely.
And then the other cool... I actually think this next one's really, really sweet. A lot of people were expecting a Maro Sorcerer, but she's actually a Maro Sorceress. It's Titania, Protector of Argoth. She's also a card from an older set. I believe it was pre-Ice Age. I don't remember what time frame it was.
You want to say Urza? Because the Urza block is where like the Priest of Titanian stuff came out of.
Yeah, like I can't remember. And then that was one of those like storylines where she was in it earlier, and then they would like jump back to it or something like that. Like like one of those things. But she's really sweet. So she's 3 mana and 2 green for a legendary creature elemental 5/3. When she enters the battlefield, you may put target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 5/3 green elephant creature token onto the battlefield.
Elephant creature.
Elephant.
You said element.
Elemental. My context was drying up. Elemental.
She brings in elements.
Which for those of you out there not in the know, an element is actually a cross between an elephant and a llama.
An element. Fair enough.
Well, if I know.
I just think that she would be really, really good with fetch lands. And if one of the things that Green's bane of their existence is blowing up their lands, and she says, "Not today. Blow up my lands, I dare you."
No, sir.
So.
Yeah, I really like her. I'm excited to kind of build a deck around her.
Right. I just want to reanimate her because all of the value. But it's gonna make the fetch lands really good. I mean, even like we were talking, like it makes people playing the Crucible worlds with like Ghost Quarter type decks.
Yeah.
Really, really good, which you guys are going to talk about here in a second. But what else? What was the third one that they brought in with her? The other legendary. Do we remember?
The other green one is Yuzuri.
Oh yeah, Zuri, yeah.
Elf guy.
Yeah. So I mean, this deck's pretty basic. I mean, it's green creatures that come into the play and blow up stuff, and then just tons of elves. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward deck, and it's really good. Not a lot of instants and sorceries, not a lot of enchantments, not a lot of artifacts. So, but what would you guys add to this deck?
Well, you mentioned Crucible. And then, I don't know, I probably wouldn't play Crucible World Strip Mine because I think it's too degenerate for EDH.
Right.
But another include if Crucible is out of your price range is Zurin Orb, which is going to allow you to sack sack those lands for 2 life.
For free. Yeah.
Right. And
Pay 0,
awesome.
sack land, get some life.
Get and
Make
get
an
a
elephant.
5/3.
Make an
right.
elephant.
And then reanimate those lands.
Yeah.
Right. Just like any of the other lists, this has got its branching out points, whether you want to take it to more of a land base or more of a elvish theme, a tribal theme.
Yeah, and see, for me looking at this deck, I don't really feel like it's an elf deck. Because, like, for me, elves are kind of, you know, they're playing off of each other and doing elf things. And this kind of feels like it's a bunch of elves that are kind of doing their thing, and then some, like, big stompy creatures are kind of in the background coming in.
Well, they didn't really add a lot of the lords. I mean, there's like Elvish Archdruid, Wood Elves, Timberwatch Elf, Reclamation
Yeah, there's some
Sage.
great
There's a lot
elves.
of
Oh,
them.
absolutely, for
but
sure.
they definitely
Timberwatch,
left
the
out
new
a lot of
Well-Wisher
the big
picture.
ones. Yeah.
It's got Imperious Perfect.
Yeah.
That is like one of the biggest elvish lords, though. Where
Yeah.
it makes more guys.
Another great inclusion is that there's a Skull Clamp in here,
Yes.
which is also in the white deck, I
Yep.
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or-
Skull Clamp
yeah.
in elves it's
Right.
awesome.
Make an elf, clamp an elf, draw some cards.
I really dislike that photo though.
I like it personally.
the-
I like it better.
Of the skull clamp?
Skull Clamp. I don't like that image of Skull
The,
Clamp. I like
change
the
it?
original printing.
They're
Let's see if I
using
can
the
find
it.
the
They're Modern Masters.
Vintage Masters.
Oh right, yeah.
Let me see if I
Pull
can
it up.
find
I'm
that.
curious to
I'm
see
going
it
to
now.
try to find it here.
One of the cards that I've actually really liked for the elf archetype is Elvish Promenade, where it
Yes.
it
Second.
pretty much doubles the number of elves that you get. It's like a elf grenade, and I've always felt
So let's see.
it's very big whenever I've resolved that.
All I have for Skull Clamp, this is the only artwork I actually have on it.
That's the old one.
That's
Yeah.
the
That's
original.
the original one.
Yeah.
The one thing I would add to this deck is just Genesis Wave. I'm surprised that
I
I'm
have
kind of glad they didn't put it in there, but I kind of wish that they would have.
Yep. And
Excellent.
that's the card that I really want is Genesis Wave in this
Right.
thing.
And Life from the Loam, maybe.
Yeah, Life from the Loan I can see when going for more of the land.
Destruction type
Yeah.
effects. I'm not seeing a Vintage Masters one. Or one. Oh, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I like the first
Two
artwork
mana.
better. You could pull it off of SGG.
Yeah, if I could. Like I say, one of these days I'm going to get this
But,
program so that it's this simple to do.
We also missed a whole cycle of cards. What's the name of them? Chat just told me.
Well, we missed a lot of the lieutenant stuff, a lot of the offering, the cycle of offering
offering,
cards.
yeah.
Offerings, yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of different offering cards that are pretty good. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
I find them a little underwhelming.
they're kind of iffy. But basically what they do is the offering cards kind of add up for a little bit more political campaigning, and the fact that you and an opponent do something, and then you and another opponent, or two players do something. And so like you can kind of play some more politics with these offering cards. And the lieutenants just basically as they described earlier, would just help you out basically with the with having your commander out and getting extra value, right?
Yeah, I really like the idea of the lieutenant.
Yeah, I think that's something that they could definitely branch into a little bit more and do some more lieutenant stuff.
For sure.
I mean, you're not going to see that outside of Commander product, though.
Right, exactly. I don't know, anything else? Chat? Does anybody have anything in chat?
There's a couple of cards that I really like seeing. The new cards anyway. Won't really focus on the reprints. We got Titans. That's what they're saying in the.
Yeah.
But the Assault Suit.
Yeah,
The Assault Suit looks
sweet.
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like you play it, and give some dude your big dude to attack another dude, and you keep on moving around.
Yeah, it's going to be a neat one.
Also, the Masterwork of Ingenuity. It costs 1 colorless mana, and it's an artifact equipment, and you can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any equipment on the battlefield. So it's a sculpting steel, which is a great card for EDH, but only for equipments.
Right.
Yeah.
And it costs 1 mana. So
I want a Jitte too. One
Yeah,
mana,
well,
I got a
worst case
Jitte.
scenario, you're going to get yourself a pair of boots.
yeah,
Right.
boots are everywhere. So it's a pair of lightning greaves that cost 1 mana. That's not bad.
And it's
I'm
possible you can even like flicker it back out and copy something else different or whatever. too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm always looking for a new pair of boots of butt kicking.
Oh yeah. The only complaint
kicker
that I
boots.
have about the green deck, just going back to that real quick, is that we didn't get a new elf. I'm sad. They made like an
Yeah.
elf-centric deck, and we didn't get a new elf.
Yeah,
Feels like they missed out.
I really like the inclusion of Priest of Titania. I really like the new
Yes.
artwork for Well-Wisher.
Yeah. They give you tons of good stuff for it. I'm so mad they reprinted Wolfbrower Elemental. Like, are we done with this yet? It feels like this guy's been like overprinted his entire life.
That new Hydra's looking pretty neat. Lifeblood Hydra?
Yep.
He looks cool.
Yeah, so like Lifeblood Hydra's one of those guys that's actually kind of interesting in the fact that like Hydras, it seem like they've been overdoing a little bit because there's just so many, big, huge X spells. And I know Hydras are kind of like the major Timmy card because they're the green dragons, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's actually really sweet because you just 3 green and X, put him in the battlefield with X counters, and when he dies, you gain X life and draw X cards. Again, green doesn't get a whole lot of opportunities to draw cards, and this is a great way of like putting all of your excess mana to use, right? And if you have, like you said, the doubling season, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Draw your whole deck almost. But
Seems like that's definitely one of the first big cards to come into this green deck. Is doubling season.
so one last card that I want to mention real fast is actually Myriad Landscape. Myriad Landscape is kind of the new Croson Verge. It's just a land, and it costs 2 colorless, and you can tap and sacrifice it to search your library for up to 2 basics of the same type and put them into play. So it's just like or put them into play tapped. It's just like Croson Verge, but for every color, and every single one of these EDH decks got one, which I'm excited for because it seems like this might help out a lot of those decks that need some mana ramping, like red, you know what I mean, or white.
Absolutely, yeah.
To give them another way of being able to kind of mana ramp with some of their lands and giving them kind of a rampant growth on a land, which is pretty sweet. So.
Plus, I mean, all those decks that already use Croson Verge, well, now you got 2 of them.
Right.
Especially Karametra. Like, my Karametra deck, like I was talking about earlier, loves Croson Verge. She's getting one of these.
Yeah, definitely.
You get a Croson Verge.
And you get a
Croson Verge.
And, I guess, okay, so chat's also blowing up and like, no, green does get draw a lot of cards. And I agree with you, they do, but usually it's in mass quantities, whereas like blue's incremental or lots of cards, and black's usually incremental. And
it's more of a reward for having creatures. Usually it has to deal with draw cards equal to the power of a creature or equal to the number of creatures you control. Right. It's not just draw cards for the sake of drawing, except
it's
for
situational drawing.
Yeah, and there's a couple cards like Primordial Sage, like when you cast a creature spell, you
Glimpse
get a card.
of Nature,
the
Greater
other
Good.
Dude,
Huh?
The other dude costs 6 mana.
Soul
Harvest.
Yeah. Like, so I mean, like, okay, sorry, I lied. They do get draw cards, but I'm just saying, like, they get them, but it's nice to see more options for them to be able to get those draw cards. So, and still get big fat fatties, but anyway.
So, Matt, what is the name of your cat there?
This one back here is Sigma. She's the gray one.
Hey, Sigma.
Yeah, she's Sigma.
She loves just sitting there being like, hey, yeah, I'm on camera.
She's the one that goes into heat whenever I come over.
And mommy...
Can you blame her?
Don't we all?
And the mommy kitty's actually back there on the other couch.
I see. Cool.
Yeah, this is her baby.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
We like cats, so. Where were we? Sorry, I see squirrels, I get distracted. I see cats, I get distracted.
Coincidentally, we have a friend with a pet squirrel.
We do, actually.
Oh, really?
He's actually...
Aloha
we haven't
Tom.
really talked about the other guys that come on the show.
We have a regular guest that maybe we should have mentioned, I guess.
Yeah, we probably should have done a shout-out to them.
Nah.
Do you want to do it now? I mean...
we could, yeah. We actually had one of our friends who comes out pretty much every Monday now, because he works in town here, Nickel Nuts. He was in the chat room earlier, and he comes on. He's a lot of fun to have on. We have Aloha Tom, our buddy. He's a quite interesting fellow.
He builds interesting decks rather than
like he's got like this Cthulhu themed deck and like giant robot decks, and he's very interesting because he only wears orange.
Yeah,
and he has orange hair,
really,
orange everything.
Wow,
he only wears orange. It's just really interesting.
He's gotten out of the habit of dyeing his goatee orange.
I only wear green. Of course, I'm colorblind.
Does he have like a...
Everything's green.
So I don't know.
Does he have any road cone fetishes or...
No.
It's something that slowly started. Basically, he started wearing like one item of orange, and people kept getting him more orange clothing, and it's basically taken over his life.
Yeah, and now like if anybody asks him like, "Hey man, why do you only wear orange?" He's like, "Why not?" And it's a good idea because
no one catches flack if they wear nothing but black.
He walks around town, and people are like, "Hey, it's the orange guy," and they smile. So he's just like, "If I can make somebody smile by wearing orange, I'm going to be a cartoon character and only wear orange."
Yeah, and no one rides you if you wear nothing but black and own only black clothing. What's the difference?
I wish that would happen to me in prison.
After
like,
all, they do say
that
that orange is the new black.
Yeah, orange is the new black. It's too funny.
Get it?
They always just think that he's like a construction worker.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Okay, so where are we anyway in the dock? We got a little squirrel sidetrack there.
Done.
Yeah, we're just about
end
done.
the main phase.
Are we done?
I think
That's
we've
it for
gone
main
through
phase.
all the decks.
All right.
We talked about the
Well, we
offerings
hope
and
everybody
incentives.
enjoyed that breakdown of the deck. So, really quick, who's buying what? Who wants?
I'm eventually getting all of them.
Okay.
I have to get the black one and the red one and the white one first. I'll get the other two eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think that due to the fact that I haven't played EDH for quite a while, I'm probably not going to get any. But
what are you doing here? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
I'm actually if I do end up getting any like on the fly, like people are like, hey, you want to jump in? I can definitely see myself just randomly buying either the green or the white just off the fly.
All right.
I think I'm team white just because it has the most cards I want for my decks.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'll probably end up getting all of them, just knowing me.
Yeah, like that's fair.
'Cause
I
that's
wish
what
I
I
had
do.
that much dinero, but
Yeah, I wish that I had more self-control.
Hopefully people will buy them for my birthday, which is 2 days after the release date. That's why I love that they released them in November, because it's my birthday right after.
sweet.
So what's your birthday?
Add that to the list.
The 9th.
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
I have
sweet.
my brother's the 11th, so I like November birthdays. They're usually pretty good people.
Yeah, I'll have a moment of silence for your brother's birthday.
Okay, thank you.
Remembrance Day jokes.
So yeah, sounds like you guys are gonna be streaming some of the new decks possibly
Yes.
Monday.
That'll be fun.
Possibly Monday. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna
Monday, I
tweak
think
them
we're
at
gonna do
all, or are you
stock
just gonna do
builds.
stock? That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to start anyway, huh? And then see how it goes.
Yeah, I think with the new, how new they are, it'll be good. So, I mean, you'll be able to check us out Monday at 9 and be able to see kind of what you're in for. If you're indecisive about which deck to get, you'll be able to see, how these things play stock.
Right, and it might give you a good idea too. Like you guys might be like, "Oh, this card would be really good right now," or whatever, and kind of get you some good ideas on like where to build from too. So definitely check that out next Monday, 9 p.m. Central, or sorry, Eastern.
Eastern.
Nice.
Yep.
PM, 9 p.m.
Eastern.
Nice PM Eastern. Nothing. Let's go along there.
Please.
Combat phase.
Okay, so we're in the combat phase. This is where. How long have we been talking anyway? I think we've been
2 hours.
I think we're going long. I don't like to split up my sessions on YouTube, but it looks like I'll probably have to. So let's move along.
We did have that mess up at first.
Yeah, so that hopefully that kind of fixes
It'll
it.
take
Anyway,
off a couple minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see if we can keep this under 2 hours for YouTube. So, what happened this week? I played a couple of games of Duels of the Planeswalker.
Sweet.
That's what I got going. How about you,
More
Rich?
duels. I played some modern, getting ready, trying to get a play group going to actually start going to some GPs, which I haven't talked about quite yet with you guys. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get.
We
I want to
talked-
go to some GPs. I'm ready to do next
Agreed.
level. So
we need someone to next level around here.
that I've actually been playing some Commander. I'm foiling out my Commander deck right now, and I can't help myself. I'm going bankrupt because of it, but whatever. YOLO. So
That's why you only play the jank.
that's why you play the jank. I wish that I could stop myself, but Judge foils are too pretty. So,
That's true.
but what about you?
I didn't really do too much, despite having this last week off from the podcast. I played F&M, which we barely scraped up 8 players since it was Halloween.
Oh,
I had
Since
5 for my shop.
like,
yeah.
despite me living in a nicer neighborhood, we don't get many trick-or-treaters. So we
do they trick or treat in Canada?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
you
We
have-
actually went out with our kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and then his son came over for a sleepover with my daughter, which she'd been asking to have. It went all right. There was a part where they mutinied inside the closet. We want mom, and so that was
How old are
interesting.
they?
But
How old
Oh,
are
it was
they?
quite the ordeal.
My son is 4 years old and Viv's 3.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay.
Sweet.
That's cute.
That's the perfect age to go trick-or-treating because they're at that age where it's like, this is the best racket ever.
And then they don't have.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And they can't eat all that
Well,
candy. They're not allowed.
Between houses, he's like, "This is the best night ever." And
I
he's like,
know
running
it.
around.
I know it.
I was the only adult that went out that dressed up, though. So
I try the mutiny in the closet like that. I want mom too. But my wife
Your
just
wife's
doesn't
like, get out
have
of the closet.
While you're in there, can you grab my shoes?
That's funny.
Yeah.
That age is also like the age where they don't want to stay up all night either, right? Like they get kind of tuckered out a little quick.
Yeah, you can wear them out, and then they
Yeah, they were up
then
a
they
little
pass
later
out.
that night.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, high on candy.
what about you guys? What have you guys been up to?
Have you played
well,
since Monday?
we had Monday, so we did our broadcast, and we played a couple
I
one-on-one
won a
games.
game.
He won one game, yes, yes he did. So yeah, we had Nickel Nuts came on, and it was just me and Greg playing a couple games in there. So that's pretty much all that I played. I jumped on MTGO just to build a quick deck, and you know.
I did get some MTGO in. Other than Mondays, I play online, and those are the games I get in. We've got someone in the chat, Roz the Slayer, though, who was kind enough to donate me some white samurai cards. So I've put together a white samurai tribal deck
Sweet.
that I've been playing and toying with and trying to tighten up the list on.
Yeah, and that's actually one thing that we didn't mention yet is that besides the Monday stream that we do every single week, and that's paper, Greg's also been jumping on whenever he's playing MTGO and doing a quick little stream there. And we try to do that, you know, every other week. I'll jump on and we'll both jump into a multiplayer game. We love playing with our viewers, and
Playing with the fans is great.
yeah, and that's another thing about our Twitch channel is that we always love talking to the viewers. So there's times where the game's going to get delayed because we're having a good
comes to a
conversation.
halt because a cool topics come up.
And Greg can't do two things at once.
No.
I feel bad every time we podcast because we do this, live as well, and I feel bad because we're trying to like move along, but I'm also like, no, chat, I want to talk.
I know there's a lot.
It's
that
hard to
happens in
like
chat,
interact and do the podcasting at the same
No,
time.
and we're very used to interacting with the chat, so it's sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, I
Sometimes
should
we
mention that.
Yeah, sometimes we only get one game in because we're talking to the chat so long. It has nothing to do with me taking a bunch of turns.
Never.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I did one last quick question for them because they
Okay.
do play Moto Commander. Is it worth getting into for on Moto? Because I've been thinking about it because I'd love to get jam in some more Commander games, but I don't want to spend tons of money trying to build the same deck or whatever.
Well, there's another streamer around MTG Radio, and him and another buddy came up with this format called 10 Ticket Commander.
Okay.
And there's a lot of cheap cards. Basically, if it's
Like
not
PH?
used in Modern or Standard,
Okay.
it's dirt cheap. So you can build
talking
some of these
like
decks
2 pennies.
for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Huh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like Pauper. Not I understand Pauper is different because commons and stuff, but it's kind of like super cheap.
Kind of like that. Like
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, you
got
just
a
play the cheap
Perforos. I've got a
ones.
Perforos EDH that's well under 10 tickets, but it's very good. First of all, because Perforos is a broken general.
Right. So
But
you play Goblin
because-
Rally and
Because these cards, unless they're seen like a lot of the casual cards, don't hold a lot of value on Magic Online.
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
another thing about going on MTGO and playing Commander is a lot of the style that I like to play is those combos and stuff. Well, online those decks are just not fun because you're instead of like being able to hurry up your combos and stuff because you're playing
shortcut
casually
it.
with your friends, you have to click through absolutely everything and you end up timing out and it's just not fun for anybody. So I kind of make a lot more fair decks and like combat oriented decks and
Like Consecrated Sphinx is a card that I
Yeah,
would never
you
put in
don't
a deck
play that.
online because I put it on the board, someone clones it, and then we both click, yes, I'd like to draw 2 cards for a half an hour
For
until
half an
everyone
hour,
else
so-
concedes.
Wow. And basically, everybody's just like, I'm gonna go make a sandwich and get a soda. Anybody want anything? Buy.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? If you're interested in getting into Moto and you've got $20 to spare, that'll get you your account for $10, and it'll make your first 10-ticket deck, and then you can decide if it's really something you want. You don't get the thing I love about EDH is sitting around the table
Right.
and talking to people.
it's all about who you
And,
play with, right?
yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot harder to do on Moto, which is why I love streaming it, because I get to interact with the viewers who are playing me, and you kind of bring that table experience a little closer.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the things that we've been doing with Twitch is actually there's a really good Commander community kind of like coming up out of there. So we'll Skype call some of the other streamers, or some of our viewers will Skype call in, and we can have a conversation with them and kind of get that feeling of sitting down at a table.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I might be doing that this weekend. I might be going and building me a
Well,
Moto
if you
EDH.
get MTGO, you can add us on the MTGO, and we can play some Commander.
For sure.
awesome.
I'm totally down.
You can be on our show.
Yeah.
We can actually have you guys as guests.
I was gonna say, can you guys actually invite people like and play, like invite your friends into it, headed into like a
Yeah, so like
player
you
game
could
or whatever?
you could have when you set up your game, you say, oh, this is the format I want to play, and I want to play 1v. You can set up
Right.
all the format specifics, the game limit time, but you can also hit buddies only.
Oh,
So if
okay,
I've got a
cool.
lot of viewers who want to play, I'll hit buddies only, and that way only the viewers who I've added to my friends list are able to join that game.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check that out this weekend then for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds.
All right.
Cool.
Were you over time, James? Sorry.
Well, I don't know, but I just kind of go with it, so that's the way it works. Let's move along.
Second main phase.
In our second main phase, this will be quick. I did get a lot of emails this week from people wanting our life total pads, and I just wanted to shout out to these people. I did get one from Michael asking if we would be good enough to send them to Canada, and I said, and I'm saying right now, sure, I'll send them to Canada. We send things to Canada. It costs a little more, but hey, we love our Canadians. That's what I say. So yeah,
Canada.
If we had some of those life total pads, we would totally use them on the show.
Yeah, well, we'll have to send some
sounds
to
like
you.
there's some more you're gonna send up that way.
Send me your address and drop me an email with your address, and I'll send some to you guys
Done.
too. Yep. And so yeah, and shout out to Michael. Let's see who else we have here. Chris asks if we could.
It's mostly just life total stuff, right?
Yeah, but I just wanted to see if there's anything else. A couple of them said cool things like, hey, I like watching every week and blah, blah,
I
blah.
like trolling you guys in chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me do
Of
it.
course they like watching. I'm a beautiful person.
Yeah. Oh, someone did say something like that. That was funny. Someone did say something
It
like...
was Blades' second email account.
No, actually, I'll tell you, we said that on Monday. We said that Blades was a handsome man. He come out and hung out with us for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'm still blushing because of it.
Well, shout out to Dominic. Hey, guys, I'm a fan of your show and love to watch your Fight Club. The Fight Clubs are nice because I don't know a lot of the older cards and the different decks they go in. Your show is fun, informative, and interesting, so keep it up. So now I'm trying to get better at the game, and I'd love anyway, ask for the life total pads. No problem. We'll send that out to Dominic. William, we have...
Wilhelm.
That's an opinion on a deck. We'll have to look at that later. And the other one, this was interesting. Someone by the name of Amanda says, I'm in charge of running the F&M at my LGS, and I'm so sick of people using dice for life counters. This is a godsend. So I'm going to send out actually a bunch to Amanda. So
Awesome.
Good.
yeah, this is so yeah, that was great. I got like 5 people asking for life pads this week, and let me see if I can just show that on the
Maybe
stream
we'll have
here.
to build some EDH specific ones for you guys.
So I'll just show you
with
here.
a row for commander damage.
Yeah.
So these
No,
are
and that's just a great idea to get your name out there.
these are
That's
the
pretty.
these are the life pads. They may
Yeah,
or may
pretty
not be
sweet.
in color depending on when I print them, but they fit inside a deck box.
Yep.
And so that's what's really cool about these two. And I send those out for free right now. I mean, maybe down the road we'll ask for a donation, but right now I'm sending them out free, so you might as well ask for them. So if
That's
anyone
pretty.
out there is wanting them, let me know.
I wish we had good ideas like that. Like, your fans are going to take those to F&M, and then people are going to ask questions on, well, what is this?
Right, and every time they tear one of these off, our name's on it, and so they'll be sitting around the table, and people say, "Hey,
Yeah.
It's like free business cards. Yeah, it's
Genius.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the judge who cleans up after everybody is just going to hate us.
That's right. We get all sorts of hate mail. No, just kidding. Let's see.
That just gets forwarded to me anyway.
yeah, automatically.
Rightfully so.
Let's see. looks like they deleted all of my notes here. Oh, I don't have any new iTunes stuff. So leave us a 5-star review, people that
and
that
Damon,
love
we
us.
missed you this week.
Hmm?
We didn't say that Damon wasn't here, I don't think, at the beginning, did we?
I
I think
didn't.
that people might have noticed.
Damon wasn't here?
Damon? Where is he? Isn't he?
Is that why we were kind of on topic? No, I'm just kidding.
No. We do miss
Ooh, shots
Damon. We
fired.
do wish at the last minute he ducked out because of unforeseen circumstances.
Yep.
We do miss him and wish him the best and hope that he comes back. Damon, come back. What else? What did we decide was the poll of the every other week last week? I forgot, and then I never updated it.
We
I
said
don't know,
it
I
last
voted
week.
on that poll this week. It was, where do you think we'll be in a year?
And did you? And okay, so that one's still active because I couldn't remember what the new one is that we were going to do. So does anyone remember what we decided it was going to be?
No, I think it was half aid.
It's on the last podcast. Just go re-listen. I don't know what to tell you.
Re-listen
I
to my own
forget.
podcast?
Do it
I
right now,
forget.
yeah.
All right, I'll do that. Okay, anyway, hopefully this week, really soon, I'll have a new one up. Can you guys think of anything else that I'm forgetting?
Jeremy's
Fi 5-star review. Only a few episodes left for you to get in on leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes for your chance to win one of Judge Jeremy's, regional coordinator Judge Jeremy's
Stuff.
Play
One of
mat.
his playmats.
Yep.
If you guys actually have any ideas for some episodes that you might want to hear about, any thoughts, just let us know. I mean, I feel like that's something we need some more emails on, as ideas.
Or Commander.
More Commander.
Commander all the
I would
time.
do Commander all day, but last time we did Commander, I rattled on for an hour and a half about.
I
Oh,
remember
don't worry
that
about
once.
it. You rattled on for an hour and a half today.
I did.
So
I
that's
try to,
kidding.
you
I'm
know,
just totally kidding you.
hoorah.
I love trolling Rich. It's one of the
I just,
joys in life.
you know,
Okay, anything else?
I'm good. You guys good? What's your contact info?
Yeah,
Casual
please.
Commanders.
Oh,
And,
yeah, we
yourself.
could
Pimp
pimp
yourself
ourselves.
out.
You guys can all find us at Twitch TV/CasualCommanders or Twitter @CasualCommands. Our Facebook group, Facebook.com/CasualCommanders.
No.
Right?
I think it's Casual Commander MTG. Because Casual Commanders was already taken by a rap crew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
fair enough.
we should have been a rap group.
We should. We
Yeah.
still can.
And then we have a YouTube, which is also just /CasualCommanders.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But
We-
the main one is that Twitch.
Yeah, you're going to want to follow us on Twitch. That's where you'll see us the most.
You
And
can also
that's-
find
that-
all the info there.
That's
too.
where I follow you, and every time you go live, I get a notification, and so then I know to jump on and check things out. So
That's good. And also, if you guys don't have, for the viewers that don't have their email come to their phone, you can follow us on Twitter now because we're a little bit better on not ignoring our Twitter nowadays. A little bit better.
We're pretty bad at it too.
Well,
It's so hard when there's like 7 different, social media.
we're
you
we're
gotta pay
trying
attention
to
Yeah.
get better at all of this social media stuff, but we really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah.
We
Well,
really appreciate you.
Yeah,
guys.
Totally.
we can't thank you enough
Like
for...
when we got that email, we were like so ecstatic. Like,
we were pumped.
I don't know why,
awesome.
but anyway, we're really happy to have you, and it was so fun. I love to go back and re-listen to episodes because I learn a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're fans of your podcast, and we think you're all just really awesome dudes.
Absolutely.
So that's why we were
Except for
really
Blake.
excited to be on you.
Shut up.
Except for Blades.
I am the reason to listen, sir.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting those things. Okay, anyway, Matt and Greg, thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you on the flip side. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll see you guys Monday at 9.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. All right, here we go.
End step.
If you want to contact us, you can send email to mtgupodcast@gmail.com. Interact with us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/mtgu. Follow us on Twitter @TheMTGU. Catch us live on Thursday nights on twitch.tv/mtgu. Subscribe and like us on YouTube. Find us at youtube.com/mtgu. We're also on Stitcher. So for the MTGU podcast,
I'm Blades.
I'm Rich.
And they're
we're the
casual,
Casual
commanders.
Commanders.
and I'm James. Now we pass the turn to you. All right.
I like your guys' fingers. Those are good looking fingers you got there.
I like my fingers too. They make it really useful for picking up things.
Right?
Yes.
Scissors.
Opposable thumbs are a thing.
If I didn't have fingers, it'd probably be a lot harder to pick things
Like
up.
do anything.
Do you know why? Do you know why gorillas have big nostrils?
Does
or
it
is
have
it
big
no-
fingers?
Yeah.
Is that the way it goes, or did I just ruin
I
that?
think you ruined it.
Okay.
Why
Do you
they
know
have
why
big
gorillas have
fingers?
big fingers?
They have big nostrils.
Big nostrils.
Okay.
I just, I always, you know, if I get the
Ah.
jokes backwards, they work just as well because.
Yeah, that was funny either way.
Yeah.
It worked.
Chat room, thanks for hanging out. I know that
Thanks.
sometimes I ignore you, but I don't mean to. Thanks for being there.
We just have like a one of
We'd
those.
like to thank our viewers for coming out and
Yes.
being in the chat. Monkey, stop spamming.
Yeah, no spam monkey.
I'm
That
gonna.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah, spams.
At least he's
think
not
it's
counting.
either he's either spamming or dancing.
I think he's dancing.
Yeah.
Good looking fingers. He
I
says.
don't think the contra code works on this.
A tank appears. What? We're playing GTFA now.
30 life.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like everybody in chat. It was awesome, but
Yeah.
we should have you guys on again. I dare say.
Oh, we will.
I'm gonna go
I'm
over
sure
James'
we will.
head.
I would love to be
Next
back.
next November? Huh?
Yeah, at least
Or
by
sooner.
you know, if not sooner, next November, but hopefully
sooner.
because you know, Commander once a year isn't often enough.
Yeah,
No,
like
it needs to be at least once
It's
a
not.
week.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
not
we
even
do
enough
it.
once a week.
Yeah, it's
so.
definitely a
Yeah.
topic that we need to touch on more. That
Yeah.
I think that this was a good episode, and I think you guys